And today we're on the quest for the Holy Grail of Magic the Gathering, a functional deck that also has a transformational sideboard that works. I'm Phil Gallagher of Thraben University, and we're going to cut out the funny voice now because we're here for Smog Tinfin's Reanimator combo. Buckle up, folks. This one is wild. So this deck list comes to us from Jonathan B. The idea is that we have two different combos in the deck in game one, and then we transformationally sideboard into two other combos. So, in game one, we are a Chain of Smog combo deck. So, Witherbloom Apprentice has text that says, whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, you drain one. And you can Chain of Smog target yourself and infinitely copy this any number of times to just drain out your opponent's entire life total. In addition to this combo, we just have a bunch of Griselbrands in the deck. So we can just go something like Dark Ritual, Entomb, and then either Reanimate or Shallow Grave to put a Griselbrand in play. Now, these two cards are different. Shallow Grave will give the Griselbrand haste. So we will be able to attack in for 7, draw a bunch of cards, and then maybe do it again afterwards. Kind of supplementing this plan is a transformational sideboard plan that seems like it might actually work. So your opponent is gonna sometimes lose the game to Griselbrand in game one, and then we are going to board into Show and Tell instead. So we are going to cut a package. We are going to cut Entomb. Well, okay, maybe let me do some dragging around. Let me show you how this is gonna work. Get out of here. Okay, so we are going to cut Entombs, Reanimates, Careful Studies, and Shallow Graves in the post-sideboard games for these 15 cards most of the time. So we can just attempt to Show and Tell in a Griselbrand or Show and Tell in Omniscience Emrakul so that we can have some options for that route. Now, a difference between Shallow Grave and every other reanimation spell is that this one is an instant, okay? So we could do something like discard or entomb an Emrakul and then Shallow Grave it to attack for 15. That is a line that will be available in this deck if we kind of end up sideboarding in sort of a weird, wonky way. So I'm excited for this one. I played against Witherbloom Apprentice in a Death and Taxes league that I just recorded earlier today, and it was kind of insane. So I'm looking forward to see how it feels on this side of the battlefield. I haven't played it in a few months. Anyway, if you're new here, please consider subscribing for sweet magic content on the regular. And if you are a regular already, please throw me a like before we get started. It's one of the easiest ways to support my content for free. Let's battle. All right, I've kept my opening hand here. We have both pieces of the Witherbloom Apprentice combo in hand, and I also have a Thoughtseize to try power through. Oh, okay, this is Kane's turn. Are you just skipping your turn? Straight up just skipping their turn. Okay. Well, I'm gonna Thoughtseize. Feel pretty comfortable about that. Kane 23 chooses to play first. Oh, misclick. All right. Happens to us all. No worries. I think I'm just gonna grab a swamp here. I don't want to get wastelanded. I don't really know what my opponent's doing yet. So let's figure that out. Oh, okay. Right. I don't think I sideboard. My opponent very clearly says, let's restart. Sorry, hope to don't ruin a video. Don't worry about it. Okay, I have a weird assortment of cards in this hand. I have half of everything. I have an Entomb and a Careful Study, but not a Reanimate spell. I have a Witherbloom Apprentice, but not a Chain of Smog. I think I'm probably supposed to mulligan this one. It's a fine hand, but I think I can do better. This produces a Griselbrand on turn 1 a lot of the time. I go Lotus Petal, Careful Study, hit a land, then Reanimate Griselbrand. I think I'm in for that. I'm going to keep this, and I think I want 2 different ways to get the Griselbrand out of the graveyard, so I think I pitch Entomb here. It's also possible that I just pitch Thoughtseize, but I don't know what my opponent is doing yet, so yeah. Okay. So probably fair blue. Not a snowland. Oh, JK. Not fair blue. Not fair blue. Abort? Wait. Hold on. What if they show and tell? Oh my god, what if they show and tell? Oh my god! They'll show and tell! Okay. Yeah. Oh my god. Yes! uh, this is great. This is magic. Absolute magic. Alright, Lotus Petal. I'm gonna draw 7. Just get a feel for my options here. Ooh, can I kill? I think I can kill a lot of the time. Dark Ritual, Entomb, Reanimate. If I get another Lotus Petal, I can just kill here. Draw 7 more cards. Okay, yeah. This'll do nicely. Multiple Chain of Smogs. I can pitch a Shallow Grave here to do this. Just see what that last card in my opponent's hand is. Oh, it's a Force of Will. Okay. Yeah, so now I'm just good to go. I'll go... You have the children? Not quite. Dark Ritual. Witherbloom Apprentice. Dark Ritual. Yield to that. Now I'll Chain of Smog, targeting me for the win. Beautiful. I do wish to copy this spell. Yeah, same targets. Alright, we have gotten the GG from the opponent here. Absolutely. I did not know we could combo off on turn 1. I guess that's what happens when your opponent gives you a free Grizzlebrand. What a start to a league. Alright, round 2. This hand almost does a lot of things. I have 3, 4, 5, 6 mana, 7 if I draw a land. And put a Grizzlebrand into the graveyard. Basically kills instantly if I draw a Chain of Smog, but I think I just mulligan for something safer. Alright, how's this 5-card hand? Not great. I don't feel good about going to 4. If I put back these 2 cards, I can just, like, keep the ability to play double Witherbloom Apprentice early on. Sure, it's not exciting. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see how this goes. Arid Mesa. Burn? Fetch maybe Bayou. Dark Ritual, 3 mana. Double Lotus Petals for the green. Just play 2 Witherbloom Apprentices on turn 1. YOLO. Alright, let's see where this goes. I guess there's only going to be 2 green cards remaining in my deck. Maybe I should just get an Underground Sea. I'll play these Lotus Petals out ahead of time. I just don't want to randomly get got by a Daze or something. Alright, so there's Witherbloom number 1. Here's Witherbloom number 2. And now we just 100% are in, like, Yu-Gi-Oh! Heart of the Cards mode. Whatever happens, happens. Okay, they have both resolved. I don't think they're both going to be on the table when, like, it comes back to my turn, but, like, we'll see. Oh, well, no, like, Lightning Bolt or anything just pointed at this. We dealing with Blue, White, Red Ragavan? Is it like a Painter deck that is just playing a fetch or 2 for a Crucible? What's going on over there? I mean, Plateau could be Painter. Yeah. I mean, yes. This just, like, drains 2 immediately. So let's just always yield to those. So that drains 2. I think I just put a Chain of Smog on my deck and say, like, when I draw another land, you are dead. I think I'm good with that. And, yeah, I'll just chill for a little while. No attacks here. Like, this is this is a combo game. Like, either my opponent plays a Painter, gets a Grindstone, and I die, or I hit that other land drop and they die. Okay, sure. I wonder if they've got like an Oswald Fiddleband. Shoot. Alright, so they just get to combo me first. So they get Grindstone off Urza Saga, and then I just deterministically die. I guess they can technically fuck up their Urza Saga. Like if they don't float the mana, for example. Yeah, but they've got the turn 4 goldfish when I maybe had the turn 5 goldfish. Or no. I also had the turn 4 goldfish potentially. Alright, so they activate Grindstone, I die. Yeah. Alright, so I will concede. I'm gonna draw a card to see if it would have been the land. Nope. 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 Okay, so we would have gotten there. 1, 2. Would have taken us 3 turns. Would have taken us 4 more turns. Yeah, okay. Not bad for a multi-5, though. Okay, I didn't show my opponent any of the graveyard shenanigans. Do I want the show and tell package for this game accordingly? Okay. I want this Emrakul. Because Emrakul just means that I can't get Painted comboed without, like, a surgical extraction or something involved. I think for this game, I'm just going to board in Emrakul. And then I think for future games, for a game 3, if we get to a game 3, I'll switch the show and tell package after I make my opponent, like, want to bring in Graveyard Hate. Yes. Turn 1 Entomb, turn 2 Reanimate, have a Grizzlebrand. Very much good with that. Might sound crazy, but I'm going to play Verdant Catacombs here on the off chance that I were to get turn 1 Blood Mooned. So, like, despite the fact that some of these Painter decks are playing Urza Saga and just, like, the Blood Moon destroys those, some of them anyway are just still playing Blood Moons, and I would hate to just end up in a world where my opponent goes, like, turn 1 Double Lotus Petal Blood Moon me, and I just lose because I played around that, or didn't play around it when I could afford to play around it. So let's grab Swamp. Let's Entomb for the Grizzledad. I think I still take that, despite the fact that, like, I'm close to Chain of Smog combo. If I had 1 more mana, like, it might be something different, but let's just grab a Grizzlebrand. You know, if it's wrong, it's not that wrong. So I think I'll just land, reanimate that, and then not immediately draw 7. Like, I can, but I don't think I have to here. Alright, opponent, what do you have to stop a Grizzlebrand? There might be an Ensnaring Bridge somewhere in your 75. That's a thing that can happen. Sure. So this can technically make blockers, albeit quite slowly. I'm going to cast an end-of-turn Brainstorm, just to turn this into literally any other card. I don't care about these Brainstorms right now. Sure. I'll put back 2 lands, redraw 1 of them. So let's crash in. Take the 7 here. Opponent will go to 13. I will now draw 7, and I'll see if my opponent's just dead. Holy shit. Haven't done math yet, but I assume the answer is very easily. Yeah, I don't even think I am going to do math. I think my opponent is just dead. I think I thought seized now rather than later. And I'm just taking anything that can interrupt my combo here. 2 lightning bolts. Also the Blood Moon that I talked about. So good job, Phil, for playing around that. Do I have another basic in this deck? I have an island, yeah. Good thing I didn't go like too deep with Grizzlebrand. Double lightning bolt might have killed me. I'm going to take a lightning bolt here. Then play a land. I will cast a Witherbloom Apprentice. And then I think I'll just pass the turn. Actually, do something. Okay, my opponent didn't bite. Just gonna Brainstorm and accept this drain. My opponent kills this Witherbloom Apprentice. I just get to, like, go off. Oh, sick. Not thinking about this too much. I'll just put back land. Do this. I'll cast a Grief, pitching a Shallow Grave. Now, if my opponent wants to lightning bolt, they have to do it right now. And if they do it right now, I just reanimate and then chain of smog combo, and my opponent is dead. Yeah. Alright, so there goes lightning bolt. And now I'll just duress my opponent. Take the pyroblast. Cast reanimate on Witherbloom Apprentice. And then chain of smog. Targeting myself for the kill. What a fucking turn. This deck is awesome. I fucking love it. Yes, I wish to copy the spell. Same targets. Yeah. That was a turn 3 through 2, kind of 3 different pieces of interaction. That was fucking sick. Yeah. Dope. Okay, now my opponent knows about the graveyard stuff. So, let's remove... I might still keep the reanimates, though. So, let's remove Shallow Grave, Careful Study, Entomb. Consider keeping some number of reanimates. I'll still play Wishclaw Talisman. Get that Grief back in here. So this keeps the reanimates, and then I just don't play Defense Grid. Defense Grid can stop Lightning Bolt. Do I care about that? I guess it also stops Pyroblast for Show and Tells. Yeah, okay, I guess I care. Am I supposed to bring in Show and Tell if my opponent has a bunch of Pyroblasts? Yeah, if I'm bringing in Defense Grid, it's totally fine. But my idea of, like, potentially keeping reanimates to better play around Lightning Bolts is maybe not going to happen. Okay. How fast is this hand? Turn 1, Island, Chromax, Imprint, Dark Ritual, play Wishclaw Talisman. Turn 2, Lotus Petal, Witherbloom. This is a turn 3 Goldfish. I think I keep this hand. There's a couple different ways this hand can be played out, though. Oh, okay. Your Pithing Needle resolves, presumably naming Grizzlebrand. Yes, that was indeed what was happening there. A Brazen Borrower. Alright. I think I'm gonna go like this. Imprint the Dark Ritual. Play the Lotus Petal. I'm gonna go ahead and just do this. Like, there's some merit to playing out the defense grid first, but I get a few more lines opened up to me by doing things this way. Opponent does not have red mana yet, so before they have red mana, it's not like Oswald Fiddlebender. The old Fiddlebender himself. Okay. I think they're a little scary over there in a way that I don't really like. Alright, so I'm 1 mana short of just comboing off here. I can combo off next turn. I think I want to bounce this Fiddlebender. It's just a little scary, is all. Alright. Let's go fetch. Let's play around Blood Moon. Just take the tempo here of bouncing that. And now it's a question of, like, do I play Witherbloom Apprentice and pass the turn with it? Or do I play Defense Grid? I think I play this out. Like, my opponent doesn't have red mana showing yet. I guess I should have done this in the other order. The other order drains 1, which is potentially relevant. Yeah, that's a small error on my end. Alright, so this Urza Saga ticks up. My opponent can't really make the construct with it, so they're just going to float a mana. So they can get a Grindstone here, play a land, play a Painter, activate it, and then realize that I have Emrakul in my deck and be super sad. Okay, it is a Spell Bomb. Ooh, the Spell Bomb is really good here, because I didn't leave myself with actual factual green mana, because I fetched to play around Blood Moon that my opponent had shown me. Alright. 3? What is this? I have no idea what is coming at 3 mana like this. Okay. Okay, and then they're just gonna bounce this. Yeah, maybe playing around Woozy Whatsy. Was to my detriment. Playing around Blood Moon was to my detriment here. Okay, so I'm 1 mana away from producing an Emrakul. Alright, so I'll play a defense grid here. Deck is super neat. I'm enjoying this a lot. Actually, if I produce the Emrakul, then the Emrakul isn't in my deck anymore, which is kind of weird. And I really want it to be in my deck, because I fear for my life. My opponent can just do something like Fiddlebender away Pithing Needle and turn it into Painter, then play like Grindstone. Alright, it's Fiddle time. What are you getting? Okay, LED is going away instead. I guess I can just F6, like whatever happens, happens here. Be another Pithing Needle, I guess. Wouldn't be crazy to play multiple. Be a Grindstone. Portable Hole. Okay. So with that Aether Spellbomb in play, the whole produce an Emrakul plan looks a little bit worse. So I need to get that Spellbomb out of play one way or another. That is a way to get the Spellbomb out of play. This is Pithing Needled, though. What if I wait a turn and I get, like, Omniscience? Alright. This Spellbomb is a little bit of a pain in the butt. So I'm kind of hoping that my opponent will junk Pithing Needle for another permanent here. Like, if they turn that into a Painter, or they turn this into a Painter, I have safer lines. Excuse me? They just straight up want to look at my deck? Oh, man. How many surgicals do you have? Because the answer needs to be more than one if you want to beat my Emrakul. So there's some worlds where like a Goblin Welder plus Aether Spellbomb ends up being like super awkward for me. Yeah, so my opponent has the ability to now like Painter combo at any moment. But like I have the thing that beats that. Okay, what just got junked? Oh, okay, an Ancient Ended. Soul Guide Lantern. Okay. Soul Guide Lantern gets rid of Emrakul. That's fair. Alright. I think I'm dead on my opponent's next turn. Let's brainstorm and try to find a way to not be dead. Like, I can put this Grizzlebrand into play, and it's slightly awkward for my opponent. Okay. So let's go. Yeah. Yeah. Play this. And then next turn, I can play Emrakul, take an extra turn. If that's something that I want to try to do. But I think I'm just going to die. Just quick note on rules. Omniscience is you can cast spells from your hand without paying your mana cost. This is not in my hand. Just in case somebody thought that was a thing that was about to happen. Okay, sure. I don't know how I'm not dead. Okay, the spell bomb is gone. So if my opponent butchers their turn somehow and just like doesn't kill me, then an Omniscience for an Emrakul, but I believe they've just got it here. Yeah, so I will make them. They've already seen my deck, so I will make them show me that they understand how like Emrakul plus Soul Guide Lantern works. They have figured it out. My deck is in exile. GG's. The fiddle bending is too strong. Okay. So I can turn one Grief pitching a Reanimate. Take a card from my opponent. Reanimate Grief. Or maybe Grief pitching Chain of Smog on turn one. Then Reanimate Grief, take another card. And then if I draw a land, I can just Entomb, Reanimate something else. I'm going to keep this hand. This hand is better if we play against, like, combo. They can just really dismantle. Okay, it's more Painter. Surely, taking a bunch of things from my opponent's hand can't go poorly, right? Alright, so let's start here. Grief, pitch Chain of Smog. And then I can decide how many cards I want to take out of my opponent's hand. Hey! That Ensnaring Bridge is bullshit. Oh, fuck. So if I take it, they weld it back. If I leave it in their hand, they can just Ancient Tomb and play it. Fuck. How am I going to win this game of Magic the Gathering? I now have to do the other combo. But as it so happens, I kind of pitched the Janus Smog to my grief. I think was tactically the correct choice. But this is rough. Alright. Take an engineer. Gunk this. Play a land. Do I want to attempt to draw 7? Maybe I still want to attempt to draw 7. I'm going to do that. End of turn Entomb, then reanimate Grizzlebrand, use that to draw 7. Yeah, I think this is fine. Like, the Ensnaring Bridge is the damning thing in the first place. Okay. And, we'll, chalk that one up to me being wrong. I think my opponent's opening hand just absolutely was going to obliterate me, though. Like, need a Chain of Smog very early on in this deck list. Okay. I don't think these painter matchups are good for me. I need the Emrakul in here, at the very least. I showed my opponent grief. They know some graveyard shenanigans are up. How do I feel about the full 15? Alright. Let's do it. The Wish Claws are good, but awkward. Alright, so that's what? Shallow Grave out. Entomb out. Careful Study out. And there's another 4 of Reanimate. Reanimate out. And we're back to 60. God, Painter's so fucking good right now. I love Painter. I need one more land here. I think I'm just going to keep this. Because this is Show and Tell, Omniscience. I didn't even realize there was a Tidespout Tyrant in this deck. I'm good with it. I wonder if I'm supposed to cast a Chain of Smog targeting my opponent on turn 2. I feel like the answer is no. Okay. Alright, so I now have my turn 3 absolute shenanigans available to me. I guess weird shit can happen if my opponent has, like, a God Pharaoh statue in hand, very specifically. Oh? All of a sudden, I'm a little nervous. Getting flashbacks. Excuse me? Well. Oh. This shit's wild. Absolutely wild. Alright. Fetch. Let's grab a basic here. Probably basic island based on this hand. Cast Show and Tell. Put in Omniscience. Ensnaring Bridge. Ensnaring Bridge is fine. Cast Tidespout Tyrant. Cast Grizzlebrand. Tidespout Tyrant. Get that Goblin Welder out of here. Okay. Opponent's not going to make me play it out from there. I was going to draw 7 and then probably bounce all of their permanents. Okay, cool. Alright, opponent has now seen the Show and Tell plan. Do I go back to the graveyard plan? I don't think so. Like, it's tempting because it's fast. But I think, like, the combination of, like, wanting Brazen Borrower in the deck, yeah, this is very similar to last time. I'll absolutely just keep this. Well, I guess I don't have the Omniscience this time. I still think I just keep this. Tidespout Tyrant's a hell of a drug. Okay. Yeah. Sure. Alright, you've got your engineer. I assume gets an Ensnaring Bridge. Trinosphere. Oh. Alright, so this is gonna be a slow Omniscience. Like, because my opponent can just get that Trinosphere into play this turn, via welding it. Sure, take your food. This is cute, so they can just weld the food into the Trinosphere. Yep. Okay, I don't need that. Let's do this. I probably should have fired off the Brainstorm in response to the Trinosphere. That was a small error on my part. So another thing that I can potentially do is just, like, hard discard a Grizzlebrand to hand size, and then... Or no, I don't have any... No, all of that's in the sideboard. Although my opponent doesn't know that. Okay, it looks like my opponent is stuck on 2 lands here. So we're going to have a staring contest for a little while. And I'll just discard probably a Chain of Smog here. Okay, so opponent is now able to cast spells. I'll take a little bit of chip damage. But again, I can't just die outright to the painter combo immediately. I can just kind of chill. Gonna bin a brainstorm here. I wanna keep this chain of smog in my hand so that I have the backdoor plan of okay, sure. Ooh, Asmore's in the deck. That's a more realistic clock. Like now that attacks for 3, or well, for 4 total. Like the attack for 1 was like literally not noticeable. An attack for 4 is actually noticeable. I'll just discard this defense grid that I drew. Goodbye. So in case you don't know how this interaction works, if I have Omniscience in play and my opponent has Trinisphere, stuff still costs 3. Okay, so Engineer can fish out a bridge. Also could fish out a smokestack, and that would be pretty good. Pithing Needle. Okay, so they want to force me to fetch. God damn it. That's bad. So they can force me to fetch, and by, like, welding in that Pithing Needle. I'll discard Grief here. Yeah, and if I fetch, it has to be for a non-basic. Ugh. Life's bad. Okay. Oh, okay, good. They are just attacking. That's so good for me. I don't know if they... Why can't I just draw a land? I mean, the answer is probably, like, there's, like, 12 of them in the deck or some shit, and that's why. Yeah. So my opponent has... Oh, no. They might have figured it out. This brings me to 4. Okay. That's fine. Yeah. Alright, it has to be a land right here. Nope. Okay. I mean, I didn't draw a land. Like, I had 2 lands in my opener and then didn't get any more for... Yeah, it's turn 8. Yeah, I mean, what do you want me to say there? It was not my game. Kappa. Hey, if you made it this far in the video, it's pretty obvious that you're enjoying my content. Consider doing something to help me, whether it's something as small as leaving a like or subscribing to my channel, or doing something cool like doing a donation deck list, or even cooler, a dealer's choice donation deck list. Just saying, I get to do shenanigans every time that happens. Okay, back to the show. I think this hand is going to be a mulligan. Like, it's so close to doing a lot of things, but I think I can just try to keep a hand that actually does something. Turn 1 Entomb, turn 2 Shallow Grave, Grizzlebrand. Yeah, this is fine. I'll keep this and put 1 Grizzlebrand back in the deck. This hand is... Oh god, opponent went to 5 cards. Alright, well, we'll see if they can do their broken thing before I do my broken thing. How about that? Yeah. Yeah, this'll be fine. Okay. Underground Sea pass. We'll pretend to be Doomsday for a turn. And then the Grizzlebrand will hit. Yeah, you can put that on Giant or something. Yep. The opponent does not have any green mana for, like, a crop rotation type card. So this is pretty bad for them. Here's Johnny. Alright. So, land, Shallow Grave, turn Grizzlebrand. I will immediately draw 7. Okay. Cast a Lotus Petal here. Does Shallow Grave send it to exile? It's been a little while. It does. Go ahead and get a feel for what my opponent's hand looks like here. I think I'll exile a Grizzlebrand. And let's see what's going on over there. They have 3 lands. Okay. Do I want to draw 7 again? I probably want to draw 7 again. I can just, like, find more Lotus Petals and shit. Okay, nice. We'll go ahead and cast this. Yeah, and then I just have, like, Entomb Shallow Grave for the 4th Grizzlebrand again next turn. There are 4 Grizzlebrands in this deck, right? Just checking. Yeah, there's 4 Grizzlebrands in this deck. Okay, so I can just do it again next turn. So I don't necessarily have to just do everything this turn. Yeah, and I think I'm going to call that enough shenanigans for this turn. Alright, so we'll exile that Grizzlebrand, and then I'll discard a bunch of cards. Yeah. 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 Something like that. It doesn't matter too much, like, my opponent does not have too much going on. Yeah, I should have kept the Dark Ritual. Alright. So let's go land, shallow grave, yield to that. I will take a draw 7 here. Okay, cool. And then that's the combo. Good stuff. Discard one of these. I will just go ahead and take my attacks in so I don't have to do as much with the combo. I also could just like straight up reanimate my opponent's Primeval Titan for bad manners. I don't think I'm going to do that though. All right. Yeah. Yeah. I'll just do this with fewer clicks here. Play another Witherbloom Apprentice. Oh, I don't even need to combo. I can just like play a Dark Ritual and my opponent dies. Okay, so this deck is insane when it like actually does its thing. Holy shit. I didn't even need your Primeval Titan. Alright, how much Graveyard Hate does Post actually have? Actually, strike that. I don't think I care. I don't know that I want to cast Show and Tell versus the deck with a bunch of fucking Primeval Titans and Eldrazi of their own. I kind of want to get this Brazen Borrower in there. I also kind of want my Wishclaw Talisman still. So I might sideboard 3 cards. Grief taking my opponent's Primeval Titan and then reanimating it, though, is chef's kiss. All my cards seem good. I think I'm going to cut, like, a Chromox, a Shallow Grave, and a Careful Study, and just give myself a little bit more utility. This makes it so I don't really take anything out of the deck while adding a little bit of utility and versatility to the deck. This hand is close, but I don't think quite good enough, and my opponent has mulliganed as well. This just goes into Reanimate. I'll keep this. The question is, like, what am I pitching? Pitch a Reanimate here. I probably don't need 2 separate Reanimate effects. Sure. This gives me a decent amount of versatility. Okay, your Once Upon a Time is fine. Oh, alright, opponent has Endurance. So, like, the next question becomes, like, do they actually have the green card to pitch to it? Because their green card density is not, like, super, super high. If I had kept the second Reanimate, I could have, like, reanimated that Endurance. Like a thing, I guess. Put them to the test, and then I'll try again later. Here is the Entomb for a Grizzle Daddy. Okay. Do I want to fetch this green now? I don't think I want to fetch this green. Well, I can just play this. Alright. Show me your green card. Okay. They had a second Endurance. That's fine. Like, this is a 1-for-1 interaction, right? Like, I trade Entomb and my Reanimate spell for their Endurance and their more other Endurance. I'm okay with that. So let's just make a land drop and pass here. Okay. So my opponent has green mana now. I don't want another land so that I can, like, turn this Brainstorm into a live card without... Well, I guess if I don't try to maximize value, it's a little okay. Okay, so this is going to be an Elvish Reclaimer. Sure. So I can play the Brainstorm prior to Witherbloom Apprentice. And then, like, I lose out on 1 drain, but I actually get to use this as a selection spell. So I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. Cards aren't great. I do not want Dark Ritual. I don't think I'm going to be hardcasting a Grizzle Dad. I think I'm going to put back Dark Ritual and land. And I think I'm going to go ahead and fetch. Grab a green source. It'll be, I guess, Tropical Island here. I guess it could be Bayou for some worlds where I hardcast Grief next turn. And I think I'm just going to keep this from getting active for a turn. It means that I don't have to worry about Bojuka Bog, for example. Actually, hold on. Fuck. I could have Grief pitch Grizzlebrand and just taken that out of the equation permanently. I didn't think about doing that. I don't know if it's correct, but I didn't think about it. I don't think it is. I didn't properly consider it before passing the turn. Sure. Another Grizzlebrand. Am I just putting Brazen Borrower into play? Probably just putting Brazen Borrower into play. Hold off on Grief. I think I can hold off on Grief for 1 more turn, but if I don't draw anything, then I think I have to just play a Grief next turn. Next turn is the turn where I start having to worry about like Primeval Titan coming in play. That my opponent only has a single green right now. They can like rotate for more green or rotate for Yavimaya. All right, that was a good amount of thinking. Yep. Okay. Did not expect an attack there. Let's get the pressure on. And I can hardcast that grief now. Get in there, little wizard friend. Or no, you're just a fairy. Fairy rogue. Alright. So Lotus Petal. Hardcast grief. Alright. Opponent thought for a little while and then it resolved. Mind Break Trap. I will be taking this Primeval Titan. Okay, so my current plan is ride these two evasive creatures to victory. Crop rotation can have some stuff to say about that, though. We'll see how my opponent chooses to do this, because they can, like, Glimmer Post and turn that into either a Cloud Post or a Yavimaya. Okay, so they've just upgraded their land. Assuming my opponent does, like, one incidental point of damage to themselves at some point. They've got a very respectable clock. Oh, please don't tell me you... Okay, no. That's a crop rotation. Okay. Another grief is not great. Well, how do I deal with this endurance? All right, so I think I cast grief on my opponent and see if they respond by putting in an endurance. It's a Grizzlebrand. Okay, so they're going to respond with a crop rotation. If they don't get something that produces green mana, they can't immediately cast this endurance. Okay, cool. All right, so my opponent and I were playing this games like on very different levels. So I cared about this endurance for combat reasons, whereas they cared about getting this Eye of Ugin. So I will attack for 6, and then my opponent will rotate Forest into a Cloud Post so that they can activate an Eye of Ugin. Okay, maybe I fucked up. So maybe once my opponent pitches the green card in hand and Endurance is not castable, I'm just supposed to take Mind Break Trap in case I top deck Chain of Smog. Yeah. Yeah, I think I messed that up because now Chain of Smog is in and out for me. All right, there's the Cloud Post as expected. And what did you find? Did you draw like Primeval Titan? You just rotated away the Eye of Ugin. Okay. So that doesn't cast Primeval Titan, though. I'm quite confused. A green sun, then? Okay, it's a green sun, so they're going to replay some of their shit from the graveyard. Sure. That's reasonable. Okay, well, I will take your Mind Break Trap. Let's yield to this. Goodbye, Mind Break Trap. And then I'll send these two in. Opponent can play Eye of Ugin from graveyard, but then probably not Eldrazi me. Let's see. So it costs 2 Cloud Posts to activate this with 1 mana floating. Yeah, they're not going to get to, like, Olama. Oh, crop rotation, though. Crop rotation for a post, I think, does put me in Eldrazi range this turn. So that's 10 mana. Yeah, so I can just lose 2 permanents here. The Olamog. Yeah, that is what's happening. Okay. Yeah, I assume if my opponent takes out, like, a Witherbloom and it'll land, it's pretty hard. Well, Actually, maybe there's... Okay. I'll just get Emrakul next turn. There another post in the graveyard? I guess there is now. I can just get another Cloud Post. And then play Glimmer Post. They'll each tap for 6. 12, 18, 19, 20. Effectively 22. Yeah, I'm just going to get Emrakul next turn. Oh, interesting. Huh. Reanimate. Okay. I mean, let's see where this goes. I don't think this goes anywhere, but maybe. At least stops these 2 little ones from attacking. I will absolutely use Primeval Titan's ability. I think I'm just going to get actual mana-producing lands out of my deck. This needs to hold back, doesn't it? Because if both of these attack, I can take this, but I can't take any more than that. Yeah, this has to hold back. Again, though, I think I just get Emrakuled, like, as long as my opponent has access to Emrakul. Okay, so there's a Glimmer Post. And this will be the Eye of Ugin activation. Okay, yeah, so my opponent can just copy a Cloud Post, like, immediately, and then net extra mana with the other Cloud Posts. I don't know why this is better than just fishing up, like, a Glimmer Post or Cloud Post in the first place, but they wanted to do it for some reason. Oh, did they take themselves off of Emrakul mana? No, they're gonna find another way to make Emrakul. Well, okay. So that makes another post. It's only 9. Oh, my opponent straight up didn't attack. Alright. Brainstorm, and then hit Chain of Smog and Witherbloom Apprentice is a kill. Let's do it. Oh my god! Oh my god. I am a talented magician. Here we go. Chain of Smog, target me. I think my opponent punted that game. I know they have Emrakul. Yeah. Oh my god. Don't think I deserved that one. I think if my opponent managed their mana differently on that turn, they had me. GG's. What's our record now? Is that 2-2? That's 2-2. This league has felt great, though. I like this deck. All right, final round. We're playing for the Brew Trophy of a 3-2. I have too much of the same side of the deck here. Since I can't cast that Brainstorm, I'm going to go ahead and mulligan. I have 8 hits to just put a Grizzlebrand into play on turn 1. How do I feel about that? Like, do I just go to 5? Or do I keep this? Let's keep this. Actually, no, is it more than 8? Sorry, I'm now recording this final round a day later. It's 7 hits plus 4 more cantrips as redraws. Maybe I should have mulligan. Alright, Careful Study. Okay, so Grizzlebrand goes to the yard, and I keep Lotus Petal. I can potentially Shallow Grave next turn off after a Brainstorm. Well, I guess I already can anyway, right, with Dark Ritual, as long as I keep that. So I guess I will just bin Lotus Petal. That's fine. In before opponent casts their own Reanimate on my Grizzlebrand, and I just die. Oh, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. That was a joke. I was joking. Please, I have a family. Oh, no. It's probably Doomsday, though, honestly. Okay. I just assume every time that I see Underground Sea, it's Doomsday. Like, I know that's kind of rich because I'm playing Underground Sea and I'm not playing Doomsday, but, you know, that's kind of where the world is at right now. Can I do this turn? Not without that Lotus Petal. Is there a way I can Brainstorm and make this work? Not without exposing myself to Daze? I want to play this Personal Tutor around Daze. The only way I can make this work involves a very good Brainstorm. I think I'm just going to play Tropical Island, use that to Personal Tutor a Reanimate to the top of my library. Okay, it's resolved. Put Reanimate on top and pass the turn. The next turn, I'll play a Reanimate potentially around a Spell Pierce. Our opponent sat there and thought for a second. I don't know that they actually have or like end of turn response or anything. They were definitely kind of processing. So like the next question becomes like, when do I cast this Reanimate? Do I Brainstorm first looking for like a Thoughtseize? I think I will. Let's see how this goes. Oh, that's pretty great. I'll put back land, Dark Ritual, play this, cast Grief, pitching Shallow Grave, and I'll use this to get whatever scary thing my opponent can do out of their hand. Okay, that's a Force of Will pitching a Snapcaster Mage. I mean, show me another piece of interaction. I'm going for this right now. Yeah. So Snapcaster Mage, though. Snapcaster Mage is less indicative of Doomsday than I thought. So I don't really know. I want a sideboard here. I assume that bringing in this package can't be that bad, especially since I'm up a game. So let's just do that. Let's see. It was Shallow Grave, Entomb Reanimates. Yeah. More Reanimates there. And then I've got, what, 4 more? So that's the 4 Careful Studies, I believe. That are 15. That's our 15. Sort by mana value. Yep. Curve looks okay, right on up to 15. Let's call that good. So we've got some things going for us this game. Number 1, my opponent conceded quickly, so they don't know that I have the Chain of Smog combo in my deck. Number 2, they don't know that I've just sideboarded into something entirely different. Okay. So with a blue mana source, I just have a Show and Tell for a Tidespout Tyrant, but the rest of this hand is pretty clunky. Like, I Grief Pitch, Wish Claw. I don't really think this is keepable. Okay, how's this one? Almost. It almost does everything. If that land was blue, I think I'd probably keep this one. I just have, like, Chain of Smog, Witherbloom Apprentice combo in hand. I also have Show and Tell combo in hand, but I need lands. There's just such a huge chance that I just die keeping this. I'm gonna go to 5. On 5, I kind of think that I just have to, like, begrudgingly accept this. I'm gonna throw back Dark Ritual and Defense Grid here and call that good. Like, I have some degree of interaction with my opponent for the first 2 turns, and then I have half of a combo. I still need multiple things in order to make this and work, though, is kind of the issue. Oh, wow. This is straight up just a Grixis control deck. All right, Cling to Dust. I'm taking the Hymn to Torok here, I think. Like, after a double mulligan, I just cannot take the beating that is Hymn to Torok. Alright, Ponder away. For those of you keeping track at home, this was an Underground Sea deck that was not just Doomsday. So, you know. There's one for the scoreboards. Okay, so I have an entire combo in my hand now. Do I just Thoughtseize again? I probably just Thoughtseize again. Let's do it. Ooh, nice. Alright, I will take a Force of Will from that. Okay, good stuff. Technically, if I draw any land, I could Show and Tell in a Witherbloom Apprentice, and then, kind of Smog kill later, like the next turn. Like a thing that I'm allowed to do. Oh, fuck! I'm considering conceding right here. I don't think I'm gonna do it, because I still get left with a portion of a combo, no matter what. Alright. Okay, alright. So I have 2 halves of combos that don't do anything individually here. You've got your land drop. I know my opponent has Cling to Dust, Baleful Strix. Ooh, oh, that's gross. The opponent can play the Baleful Strix, and oh no. Alright. So, my plan of accumulating cards to go off is a little rough here. Because, like, I require Show and Tell plus another thing, or Witherbloom Apprentice. Oh? They're not just casting that hymn that they put on top immediately? Do I Chain of Smog them as a discard spell? I don't hate it. I don't hate it at all. Like, if they redirect it at me, I redirect it at them, they'll end up with a Cling to Dust in their graveyard that they can flash back. But these 2 cards are not long for this world. Okay, so Cling to Dust and Baleful Strix hit the yard. Okay, so my opponent does copy it. I'll discard my 2 cards. Yes, I want to copy this. I'll target you. A Pyroblast. Okay. My opponent has a lot of interaction for me. So they'll get a card or 2 out of this Cling to Dust eventually. Like, their pulling ahead here. I think this is potentially better than me just... Oh, they're not? Okay, so they're not willing to just use this to draw a card because they think I still have, like, the Reanimator stuff in here. That's dope for me. I'm actually quite happy with this. Yeah, if they either don't know or forgot about Cling to Dust or aren't willing to just use it, then, my play ends up being a little better. Ooh, that's bad. I'm just gonna get, like, Fate Sealed into Oblivion. My opponent does have to play the guessing game of, like, what do I need? I have a weird number of combo pieces. Okay, so this is targeting me. Okay, so if it says chooses not, then they've just left that on top. Okay. Narset is scary here because it makes my it makes my cantrips worse. So I think I'm largely dead here. I'm just gonna fetch and clear the top of my library. Put a drop on top. If Narset is gonna stick around, then I'm just gonna play these out so I can better play around soft permission. So I'd like to draw, I don't know, something like a Tidesbowed Tyrant? Nicol Bolas? Oh my gosh. Shit. Okay. This is now a rough assortment of cards. Okay, so here's Nicol Bolas, which got a very strange visual bug there. I guess I exile a Dark Ritual. Question mark, question mark, question mark. I think I'm gonna concede after my next draw step. Yeah, okay. Fucking brutal. Okay. So, am I just going back to the Reanimator deck now that I know that my opponent has Pyroblasts and a bunch of things like Jace and Hymn to Turok and whatnot? It's easier to top deck to a win if I'm Hellbent, if my opponent is helping me discard cards. I might end up at, like, a medium point where I, like, keep defense grids in the deck. But let's go back to the game 1 configuration, I think. So, junk those, junk these, junk these, take all this stuff back. That's 61. So I missed something. Tidespot Tyrant is what I missed. Okay. So this is the game 1 configuration. Do I want the defense grids? Kind of. I wonder my opponent's interaction is discard, which is sorcery speed, so, like, the defense grid isn't giving me a card in that way. I think I'm just going to keep my combo density as high as possible and play like this for this game. This, if I hit a creature, which I don't have that many of, goes off on turn 1, but I think I'm going to go ahead and mulligan this. The hand's fine, but if I can open with a combo in hand, I think I like that better. I can go off on turn 3. Goes off on turn 2 if I spike a Chain of Smog. I think I'll keep this. Do I need the Lotus Petal? I can just play Witherbloom on 1. I'll throw back a land here and go for the line where I just trop. Yeah, I think I'll do trop. Go trop, petal, and green-black for Witherbloom Apprentice. And this allows me to just play, like, Careful Study and Personal Tutor on my next turn. Okay. There goes Personal Tutor, I assume. Because that gets me the other half of this combo. Ooh, Careful Study, actually. Interesting. Okay. Oh, okay. They're going to Surgical Extraction, Careful Study. That's interesting to me. Alright, so I am threatening to just go off next turn. I don't know how much removal my opponent is actually going to have in their deck, if I'm being honest. Because they boarded into a lot of other interaction, because, like, the spot removal does not play well versus, like, the Grizzlebrand side of the deck. Alright. Here's a Personal Tutor. Yield to that. Force of Will would be very good here. Like they don't have it. I will put a Chain of Smog on top of my deck. And attack for 2. I mean, opponent's at 13. They could have saved this Surgical to shuffle after I Personal Tutored. That was known information. They could have another Surgical, I guess. Oh. Yeah, so I think my opponent punted that game 2 different ways. I think they punted by not taking personal tutor, and then I think they punted by not surgical extractioning after I personal tutored. But like we'll take the brew trophy here. Overall thoughts on the deck list. This was really fun to play. It's a little clunky on some draws, and I mulliganed a decent amount. But as far as a deck with multiple combos and a transformational sideboard goes, this one was really good. Like a lot of times the transformational sideboards don't quite work because they don't quite deviate enough from the normal game plan. But when you start with 2 disparate game plans and then you sideboard into a third, that makes your opponent play this like very strange guessing game. And the Witherbloom Apprentice Chain of Smog combo is only 8 slots. Something worth exploring for anyone who wants to try out this deck list is, I guess there's also situations where you could consider sideboarding out like the Chain of Smogs and the Witherbloom Apprentices, and then that's 8 cards, and you could board in like 4 Show and Tells, 2 Omniscience, and like board out something else for an Emrakul. Like there's a lot of different angles you can take this deck, and I enjoyed playing this a lot. I hope you enjoyed watching it. If you did, throw me a like or a comment on your way out. Those sorts of things support my content for free. Have a great rest of the day. See ya.